Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to take a look at Warhammer Quest Silver Tower. We're going to do a solo playthrough. I'm going to be using 4 of the characters that are available to use in the game, and we're going to do an entire run through of Silver Tower, or play at least until we completely die. So with that said, we'll go straight into this. Warhammer Quest Silver Tower was the first Warhammer Quest brought back by Games Workshop in recent history. We've seen things like Shadows over Hammerhall, and then into Blackstone Fortress, and of course the much maligned Curse City, which is of course coming back, and we will do a run through of that next. But let's go check out who we're playing with, and let's go get cracking into a game of Warhammer Quest Silver Tower. Alright, and so here we are, ready to play Warhammer Quest Silver Tower. Our party is going to be all Stormcast, so we've got the Knight Quester, the Lord Relictor, the Lord Celestin, and the Knight Vexilla for our party. You can see the colour, red there for that, black for the Lord Relictor, the off cream brownie colour for the Celestin, and then the blue for the Vexilla. So we'll pop all of these on the starting point of our Renown tracker. And we'll get all our miniatures on the way. So, Quester at the front alongside the Lord Relictor. And then we'll have the Celestin and the Vexilla coming up behind them to start. So, let's get exploring. In a vast statue-lined chamber did the champions first come together. Whether by dark design of the Gaunt Summoner or the vagaries of fate and destiny, each champion descending the winding stairs to face one another across a sigil-etched floor. How each had come to this place was an epic tale in itself. Why each had come remained a secret known only to them. Yet it was clear for now that their paths were intertwined. It was then that the Gaunt Summoner's visage loomed above the champions in a blaze of unearthly light. In a booming voice, the Summoner revealed that should the champions wish to win his boon, they would have to best his trials. Only in this way might they gather the fragments of the shattered amulet upon which his true name was inscribed. Do this, the Gaunt Summoner promised, and the champions would have whatever they desired. Fail, and they would be his prisoners forevermore. With this, the Summoner faded from sight, leaving only echoing laughter and a glowing portal leading onto the Silver Tower's labyrinth depths below. The energies of the portal surged around the champions and propelled them down a twisting tunnel of light. Moments later, they stumbled from the portal's exit and into a strange new chamber. Regaining their composure, the champions squared their shoulders and steeled themselves against the dangers to come. Their first trial in the Silver Tower had begun. The floor moved constantly in this place, clicking and whirring as it interlocked and spun apart in ever-changing configurations of crescent tiles and seemingly meshing cogworks. Worldgeek Passage revealed itself in front of our explorers. So, Encounter Table B, we need to roll a d6 to find out what happens. 5. 1 blue horror per player arrives in Worldgeek Passage, waiting to attack our heroes. First of all, we must roll the fate dice for the pool for the turn. Triple 3s sees them removed from the pool, and we get a 1 and a 6 for our fate dice for the turn. Each hero then, so the Knight Quester for his first roll, he will get a 6, a 4, a 2, and a 3 as his dice. And so our Knight Quester's first action was to explore, so our 2 is already gone to open Worldgeek Passage. We'll then use a 4 to put down on our guard stance, giving us a 3+ save rather than a 4 now, and we will use our 3 to move forward and fight the blue horror in front of us. With our 6, we're going to use the Thunderstrike charge attack, so we hit on a 3+, which we do, doing 3 damage and removing a blue horror, gaining a renown as well for our Knight Quester, and also a brimstone will appear. Lord Relictor is up next. He rolls his action dice for the turn, getting a double 6, a 1, and a 4. He's in combat already with one of those horrors, so we will use a 1 on his relic hammer, needing a 3+ to hit. He misses, so we'll have to use our 4 to do the same attack action again, which he does, hits, and destroys a blue horror, gaining himself a renown as well. Bringing another brimstone horror to the field, which he will then attack with his relic hammer as well, killing that brimstone horror. However, we don't gain renown for killing brimstones. His last one, he will use lightning storm, which is a missile weapon, targeting the blue horror in front of him for a 3, which will miss. And Lord Celestin is next, so his action dice for the turn: 4, 5, 6, and 2. So we're going to straight away use our inescapable vengeance ability. This is going to allow him to move his spaces up into combat with the blue horror there and make a combat attack. So we're going to attack with our rune blade on a 3+, which we do, and that will remove the blue horror. We'll gain our Celestin a point of renown there as well. Unfortunately, we did not roll a 6 for the attack. If we did, we would have got to attack with our other weapon, but we'll go now attacking with a 2 with our Warhammer into the brimstone, needing a 2+ to hit, which we do, removing the brimstone in front of us. Next, we're going to use our missile weapon for the Sigmarite Warcloak. We get to see here, when resolving the Sigmarite Warcloak action, you can make a number of attacks equal to the score of the hero dice used to activate the action. So that'll be 4. So 4+ to hit that blue horror. That will do the wound to the blue horror, moving it and replacing it with a brimstone. And we will then go again with our 5, using our Sigmarite Warcloak once more at the now there brimstone. So 4s to hit, and look at that. That is a 1 dead brimstone, which will be slaying 3 adversaries in a round. So he will have also gained for the second blue horror, and then thanks to his renown ability, gain an extra point of renown for slaying 3 adversaries. And lastly, we will have the Knight Vexillor, who will roll his action dice for a 1, 2, and double 6. We'll use that 1 straight away to move our 3 spaces up into combat with the brimstone, and then we'll use our 2 to attack with the Warhammer. 6, and that'll see a point of damage done and the brimstone horror removed. While we are here, we're going to put a 6 down, and we're going to use our Icon of War in case we get ambushed. And so, no enemies are left on the board at the end of the turn, so we're going to be able to do a Respite for the heroes. This is going to allow us to reset up our heroes. So we'll set the Celestin and the Relictor up front, because they're going to activate first, and then the Vexillor and Quester behind, as the turn will flip over and the Relictor will get to activate first. However, because there's also no enemies and we don't need to heal anyone, we're going to get to roll a dice for each model, and they potentially can find a treasure card. So the Quester on a 4+, he does not find any treasure. The Lord Relictor on a 4+ does, so a treasure card will be drawn. So, drawing a treasure card, we find Mrs. Chalice. You can use this card during your turn to unlock any Destiny dice that are locked. We didn't need to use any Destiny dice last turn, but cool. We'll then roll for the Lord Celestin. So, on a 4+, treasure, he gets 1 as well. Warpstone Bomb, 1 use item for a nice big bomb. And then, lastly, we're going to go with the Knight Vexillor. He's going to try on a 4+. Does find treasure as well for Sorcerer's Shield. And so a nice little bit of protection for the Vexillor. With that, let's go into our next round. And so we'll roll for Fate dice first of all. That is double 2s, double 5s. Both will see themselves disappear from the pool. And a 3 will be our only Fate dice for the turn. And so Pug and Slop come onto the board. Pug will stop me using any treasure cards while he's on the board, and Slop will make all my characters -1 to move. So let's go into the Relictor. Roll his action dice. Double 1, 3, and 5. So we'll straight away use one of those ones to explore. The librarian is drawn. As the great golden portal swung wide, beyond was revealed a library that seemed stolen from some madman's dreaming. No ordered repository of lore was this, but a scattering of crumpled scrolls and forbidden tomes that ran riot with impossible profusion. At the champion's exclamations, the air grew thick, and there billowed a smoke within which myriad colours shone bright. From that fume stepped the demonic librarian of this strange chamber, one digit laid upon his rubbery lips in a mocking appeal for silence. And so our relictor is going to move. So we are -1 movement, so that means we just get 2, which will put us into contact with the librarian, and we're going to hit it with our relic hammer. So on a 3+, we do a wound to the librarian, and we'll go again with the relic hammer on another 3+. For 2 wounds to the librarian. Our Lord Celestin is next up, so his action dice for the turn. 1, 2, 4, and 6. And so we're going to move with him once again, only getting 2 squares of movement, but that will be enough to put us into combat with the librarian. We're then going to go with our 6 and use our Sigmarite Rune Blade. So rolling a 3 up, we hit for D3 damage on the librarian for 1 point of damage. Going again into the librarian with the Lord Celestin, we'll go our Sigmarite Rune Blade again. 3+, it hits. Unfortunately, this wasn't the Inescapable Vengeance attack. So D3 damage for 2 more wounds on the librarian. Popping him up to 5 taken, and we'll go with now 1 attack on our Warhammer. We'll hit on a 3 and just do a single point of damage to the librarian. Knight Vexler is up next, so he rolls his action dice for double 1s, 4 and 6. We're actually going to use his first movement to go back and try and capture Slop. And so the Vexler is going to try and capture Slop. His dice must be higher than the Lord Celestin's to capture it. It is not, so Slop will curse the Vexler. So the Vexler's move value is now 1 for the rest of the turn. Meaning we're going to have to use... So he disappears. 2 more points of movement to get into the same chamber now as our other fighters. And then we're going to use a 4 to try and use Pendant of the Stormbringer on a 5+ to stun the librarian. We do not. Now, Knight Quester is the last hero to activate, so he will go with his action dice for double 4, double 5, a nice set of action dice there. We will move 1 step back and try and capture Pug. So, we now need our dice on the Knight Quester to be higher than the Vexler's dice. It is not, and once again, our Stormcast are cursed. Pug's Bane is roll a dice for each of my treasure cards. Luckily, the Quester does not have any. On a 1 or 2, they would be gone. And Pug skittles off to nowhere. However, that does mean that they are both gone for now. So, the Quester is going to use a double move for his 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to attack the Librarian with the Warblade. Which we miss. So, nothing. The Librarian survives and will activate. And so, see what the Librarian does on his behavior table. That is a 4. So, Blazing Whirlwind. Each horror in the group moves so there are as many heroes in the chamber, which all of them are on. They then attack with Pink Fire. So, Pink Fire is an area attack. So, we are a pink horror. So, this means we're going to need 3s to hit on each hero. So, we'll roll 1 dice of each colour for each hero. On a 3+, they are hit with Pink Fire. So just our Knight Quester is hit. And so he's going to get to make a save roll against that, of which he has a 4+ save. He does not, so the Knight Quester is going to take a wound. Fate Dice, once again, didn't use any last turn. Forgot to, that one. So, Fate Dice for the turn, double 5s. See that removed, and 1, 4, and 6 go in the pile. Double 5s means once again slop will appear. Meaning we're going to be -1 move. Not as bad this turn though. So the Lord Celston gets to go first for the round. So roll his dice. We got that 6 there. It's what we want. We want Inescapable Vengeance to be able to be used. So Sigmarite Runeblade on a 3. Misses. Dang. So we'll go without Sigmarite Runeblade again. Misses once more. Again, Sigmarite Runeblade. Come on, Celston. Again, he misses. Can he actually hit the Librarian at all this turn? No. And you know what? This is getting annoying. So we're going to use this, and we're going to go Inescapable Vengeance with the Sigmarite Runeblade with one of our fake dice. That will lock the 4 for the next turn. Hits, but doesn't go through. So D3 damage for 3. Taking it up to 9 wounds. At which point we will have slain the Librarian. And there came a sound of wet and monstrous ripping as the Librarian tore bodily in two. Where once stood a great pink fleshy being, now 2 smaller blue simulacra took its place. Grumbling in great indignation, for all their bluster, these beings feared the champions and told them a precious secret. An ancient incantation that would steal the binding light of sorcery for a time. Even as the champions puzzled over this silver of lore, the demons vanished, returning to the shimmery smoke whence they came. And so, finishing his turn, the Celston finishes by slaying the Librarian. We'll actually use him to use our other dice, removing the 1 to move him. And now we're going to try and see if we can get rid of Slop, which he doesn't. So he is movement 1, but he's done for the turn. So all good. Slop is gone. With that, there's no reason to activate the Vexilla. And we'll go straight to our Knight Quester, who is, as long as he doesn't roll quadruple 1s, he doesn't. We're going to spend 2 of our dice to do our healing, and then also put up our guard stance with a 6. And leave that for the turn. End of that round, we're going to go with Respite for the turn. So, end of the round, we're going to go with Respite again. All our heroes, so we will put the Vexilla at the front, along with the Questor, the Relictor and Celestant behind them. And we'll try and search for some treasure. So the Questor on a 4+. And still no treasure for Questor. The Lord Relictor on a 4+. 5. And so the Relictor draws a treasure. Amulet of Fury. You can channel the power of the amulet to immediately roll after you wound your adversary. Roll 4 dice for each 5 or 6. The adversary suffers another wound. Cool. We'll then roll for the Celestant, who does not find anything. And then for the Knight Vexilla, who doesn't find anything either. So, go into the next round. Fate dice to begin with. There's 1, 4, 5, and double 3. So they'll disappear, but the 1, 4, 5 go into our fate dice. Double 3s will be blocked out. He doesn't allow me to use skill cards, but no one's got any at the moment, so not that big a concern to get rid of him. So, the hero dice for the Knight Vexilla, who is now our Rune Mark player for the turn. So, I'm going to start with that 2 straight away to explore, meaning we throw the next one up. Abandoned Nest. This chamber bore a beast's musky stink. Claw marks marred the wall, and gold glinted amidst the bones on the floor. And so we roll on encounter table C for this chamber. What do we get? 2. That means we're going to get D3 Zangors on the table. So D3 for Zangor for 2 Zangor. So Vexilla with his other actions, we're going to go Icon of War. So put this here until the end of the round, where while it is there, players can reroll any failed attack rolls for other heroes in the same chamber as the Knight Vexilla. So he will then do a move as well with his 4 to bring him into the chamber at the back there. And then we'll also use his Pennant of the Stormbringer. So each Zangor on a 5+ will be stunned. So the one with the shield on a 5, and the one with the 2 hand weapons on a 5, neither are stunned. Our Knight Quester is next, so his hero dice. He got double 1, 6 and 2, not the greatest. And so he'll use his first one to move up into combat with the Zangor here. And we will attack the one with the shield, going with our Warblade. So our Warblade attack, 3's to hit. Hits and does 2 wounds to the Zangor there with the shield. We're then going to use a Destiny dice to put up guard stance. That will lock the 5, but then we will use Thunder Charge Strike as well on a 3+ hits. So this will be 3 points of damage to the Zangor there. So putting him on 5. Normally that would be enough, but the shields get an extra 2 wounds. So we need our Warblade to hit it on a 3, which it does, and removes this Zangor, giving our Quester a point of renown. Our Lord Relictor is next, so he will roll 1, 2, 3, and 6. And that becomes unlocked for him. We'll then use our 1 to move him in to combat with the Zangor there. And then we'll use a 2 for his Relic Hammer. So this will now hit on a 3+ hits. And then we're going to use the Amulet of Fury as well. So you can channel the power immediately after you wound an adversary. We now roll 4 dice. And for each 5 or 6, it is another point of damage. For another 3 points of damage. Nice, Lord Relictor. Straight away, 4 wounds down there. And then we'll go with the Relic Hammer again. Meaning he just needs to get this through. On a 3, which he does. So he will remove the other Zangor as well, gaining himself the Relictor a point of renown. And then, because he can, he's going to make a search action 1+. Roll the dice to see what happens. On a 3, I can place a stun marker on the... Oh, no, sorry. On a 3, nothing happens in the abandoned nest. So we'll then move up the Celestin, who's the last one to activate, and he'll go into the chamber using his double moves. And then we'll have 2 dice, so 2 rolls on the abandoned nest. A 1, however, that will set up D3 Grot Scuttlings from the portal for 1. And so he'll use our last Fate dice then, meaning he's going to get 5 shots with his Sigmarite Warcloak at that Grot Scuttling that just appeared. 4+ to kill. That Grot Scuttling is very, very dead. As it pops its head out, it gets smacked in the head with Hammer Cloak, giving our Celestin another renown. No enemies left on the board. We can use our Respite again to reorganize the party. So we will take our characters in order like so. And then we'll roll for Fate dice for the turn. But before that, let's try and get some treasure. So Quester, treasure, 4+. He gets 1, finally. He's got the Eye of Forest. And so Lord Relictor will try it on a 4+ as well. He does not get any treasure. Lord Celestin will try on a 4+. He does not either. And finally, our Knight Vexilla will try on a 4+. He does, so he gets a piece of treasure. He gets the Casket of Azir. And so, Knight Quester will begin us off by rolling the Fate dice for the turn. Double 1s and double 3s. So just a 2 for Fate dice. And so Block will now jump closest to the Quester as he can. However, an unexpected event will arise. So we roll a D66. So 10s. It is 2 and 3, 23. It was then that the crystalline flesh of the Silver Tower did turn itself against the champions. Like ice spreading swift upon the skin of a lake, thick blue crystals grew across the exit nearby. None would pass this way now unless by shattering force. So we now must roll a dice. a 3, and we put that on the exploration area. Our heroes now have to attack that. So we go into the quester rolling his dice. So we're going to go with a Thunder Charge Strike on a 3+. We do get to reroll any failed attacks. So rerolling 3+. He gets it. And that there, because of 3 damage, reduces that and removes the ice barrier as he smashes through it with lightning. He's then going to use his 1 to explore, flipping over the next card, which will be The Way Divides. With every step forward, the glittering mist thickened, heavy, with half-glimpsed shapes and the shattered fragments of memories. Alrighty, so encounter table A, 2d6 for this one. Let's see what happens. 5, that will be 1 Zangor per member of the party, so 4 Zangor. And so Zangor are deployed on the board, so we're then going to go with the quester for the rest of his actions. Got 3 on guard stance, and then we'll move him up to fight the Zangor there, using his Warblade now with the only fate dice available on a 3+, which will do 2 wounds to the Zangor there. Lord Relictor is up next, so his action dice, 3 5s and a 1 is pretty nice. So our Lord Relictor is going to use Lightning Storm for a 4+, but he will get to reroll thanks to the Icon of War from the Vexilla. So 4+, targeting this Zangor here, wanting a 6. It hits, so that will do D3 damage to that Zangor for 3. We will then go again with another Lightning Storm. Rerolling thanks to the Icon of War from the Vexilla, still miss, and a 3rd Lightning Storm coming from the hits for D3 for 2, removing that Zangor and giving our Relictor another point of renown. And so we'll then use the Relictor's move. We'll try and capture Blots behind us with the Relictor, which he does not. He is cursed by Blot. And because we don't have any skill cards, Blot's mischievous acts do nothing to us and he disappears. Onto the Lord Celestant. His action dice for a 1, 2, 2, and 3. Not the greatest, to be honest. So the Celestant will start with his 1 to move. So we'll go 1 and 2, moving there. And then we're going to throw our Warpstone Bomb for our 3+. We're going to pick a space in your hero's chamber. So we're going to pick that one there, the middle one. And roll a dice for any heroes or adversaries in that space or adjacent to it. On a 2 or more, they suffer 2 wounds. On a 6, they suffer 4. So the one that already has 2 wounds on it at the front there, on 2, he takes another 2 wounds. Putting him up to 4. The one in the middle will take 2 wounds. And then lastly, the Zangor with the Great Axe will take 2 wounds as well. So all the Zangors took 2 wounds from our Warpstone Bomb. We will then go with the Sigmarite Warcloak, getting 2 attacks with it, and we'll go into the Great Weapon Zangor. Each of these needing a 4+, but re-rolling. No re-rolls actually, because we're not in the same chamber as Icon of War, so just 1. And then we'll go again, needing 2 dice. 2 4s here will kill the Great Weapon Zangor. Just 1, so that will put him on 4 wounds as well. So Knight Vexilla's rounds to go. He's the last one to fight, so he got a 2, 3, 4, and 6. Alright, and so we will use our 2 to move our Vexilla up, going 1 and 2 in there. And so we'll fight the Great Weapon first on a 3+. We kill the Great Weapon. We don't. On a 3+, we kill the Great Weapon again. We do, so he's removed. And then we'll go a 3 on the one on the other Great Weapon there. We do not remove him. That will give our Vexler a point of renown though. So we'll go into the adversary's turn. And so behavior table for our Zangor. Let's see what they do. A 4. Bestial Charge Zangor will move towards the nearest hero and then they will attack. So they are already in. So they're both going to attack the Vexler actually. Actually, the Great Blade actually has 2 in range. So on a 1, 2, 3, he attacks the Quester. 4, 5, 6, he attacks the Vexler. He's going to attack the Quester. So he has the Great Axe. So he's got a damage of 2. He has 2 attacks with his Savage Blade, hitting on 3s. 1 cocked. Both will hit. So that means we're going to have to make 2 save rolls on a 3+ for my Quester. Saves 1, but then does take 2 damage from that Great Blade. Ouch. And then, meanwhile, the other Zangor with the hand weapon will use his 2 attacks to attack the Knight Vexler. So 3s to hit. Both will hit. We will then need 2 saves on a 4+, which we saved both with the Vexler. So into the hero's turn again. And so fate dice for the turn. Double 4s disappear. So 2, 6, and 5 go in. Tweak will then appear near the Zangor at the back there. We are -1 to hit while Tweak's on the board. So we're going to start with our Lord Relictor for the turn. So we got 2 1s, a 4, and a 3. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go another. No, we'll go 1, 2, and 3 there for his move. And then we will attack with our hammer, trying to get rid of that great weapon. So we are hitting on a 4 now, though, which we do. So we will remove that and get a renown for our Relictor. Remove the great weapon. And then we'll go with Lightning Storm on a 5+ now, which misses. And then that will be... Actually, we will go with Healing Storm using the 6, locking the 5, going on our Quester. So Healing Storm, if you roll a 6 when making this roll, remove a wound marker for any other heroes adjacent. But pick a hero in the Lord Relictor's chamber and remove D3. So 2. Quester's back to full health. And our last action for the Quester, a 1. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Try and capture Tweak to get rid of that bonus, which we do. So Tweak will come out. And the Relictor has captured him. Lord Celestin is next, so his action dice. He got a 6, so we will immediately use Inescapable Vengeance, allowing him to move. And then attack with his Sigmarite Runeblade on a 3+. He misses. Of course he does. We'll then attack with our Sigmarite Runeblade for normal then. Miss again. We're then going to have to make an attack with a Sigmarite Runeblade using one of our fate dice, locking that one. 3+, come on. Got it. D3 for 2. And then we've got 2 more attacks we'll throw with the Warhammer on 2s for nothing. So that will just be another 2 points of damage. Over there, he's got 3 left. Vexler, time to go. So 1, double 2, and 4. And so we'll move the Vexler doesn't need a move, so we're just going to go. We've got 3 wounds to do, so 3 attacks with our hammer. He hits on a 3, so 1 point of damage, which means we're going to have to use that and use the fate dice to do another wound. And Zangor is still alive, which means it comes down to the Quester to remove the Zangor. That will do that. So we'll put on the guard stance and then we will attack with a Thunder Strike. 3+, hits and destroys, giving our Quester, who is red, another renown. End of the round, that'll be Respite for the heroes as well. So We can move them all, meaning our Celestin will get to go first next round. We're going to go this way, which means we'll get to pick from that deck. And so, Questa, Vexilla, and that will be how we deploy. So, Respite, 4+, the Questa finds treasure. He does. Trickster's Brew. And then on a 4+, the Relictor will find treasure. He does not. On a 4+, the Celestin does not. And on a 4+, the Vexilla will find treasure. He does as well. He likes collecting treasure for the Phoenix Heart. So some cool defensive ones on the Vexilla. Lord Celestin will roll our Fate Dice for the turn. So that'll be double 4s gone. However, there are no adversaries on the board, so Tweak will not appear this turn. Which means the 3, 5, and 6 go into our Fate Dice. And the Lord Celestin will start us off with his Hero Dice. We'll go to the 2 to explore. Picking this deck, Searing Beams. Stepping through a shimmering blue haze, the champions emerge into a profane temple of tzeentch. In that place of worship, they beheld a great statue of a demon lord, whose avian gaze bespoke knowledge of dark and terrible secrets. At the statue's feet, the champions saw 2 great crystal prisms, each mounted upon intricate clockwork daises. From these prisms spilled a searing light, each beam leaping out like a searing river of power to scorch the walls black. Here, it seemed, was a puzzle of sorts. And so we roll twice on Encounter Table B for this one. 1 and 2, so there's 1 Karak Acolyte and 1 Pink Horror per player, and 1 Pink Horror. And so our Celestin is going to use one of the Fate Dice. No, we're going to use our own dice for a 3 to make a move. So you know, 1, 2, 3, charging straight forward, and a 6 then for Inescapable Vengeance for 1, 2, going right into the thick of it. And so we will get to make an attack roll with the Sigmarite Rune Blade. We'll go into the Karak Acolyte with the Glaive. That will miss, unfortunately. So which means we're going to go Sigmarite Rune Blade into it again on a 3 hits for D3 damage for 2 wounds onto that Karak Acolyte. We will then go with another Inescapable Vengeance. So we're going to attack with our Warhammer first into the Karak Acolyte. So this means we hit on a 2+ to kill the glaive-wielding one. Kill him, but we did not roll the 6 that we wanted. But that will do that and give us a renown on the Celestin. Vexilla's turn next. He'll roll his 4 hero dice. So 6, 3, and 1 and 2. Straight away that 6 is going on Icon of War, and then we'll move the Vexilla up. And we'll spend the 5 to rotate. And so, turning the beam will do D3 damage to that Karak Acolyte. So, for 2 wounds on the Karak Acolyte, and then D3 damage to the horror behind it as well for 3. We will then go with another move with the Vexilla and swing our Warhammer on a 3+, re-rolling. We kill that Karak Acolyte. And that gives us another renown on the Vexilla. Now we go to the Night Quester. Straight away with all those enemies, we're going into guard stance there. We'll use our double 1s to make 6 inches of movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we will attack the Pink Horror with our Thundercharged Blade. Actually, we'll attack the Karak Acolyte with our Thundercharged Blade, which we do. That will do 3 damage to him, and then we will go another hit with the Warblade. which hits as well for 5 points of damage, removing that Karak Acolyte and giving another renown to our Knight Quester. Lord Relictor is the last hero to activate, so he will go double 6, 4 and 5. Nice. So straight away we're going to move and line up our missile weapon, or rather we'll go 1, 2, 3, and then we will move this here to spin, doing D3 damage to the Acolyte in the front there for 1, and D3 to the horror behind for 1. We'll then move our Relictor and shoot off Lightning Storm on a 3+ re-rolling. Thanks to our Vexilla re-rolling. Get it. So that'll do D3 to that Acolyte for 2, killing the other Acolyte and giving our Relictor another renown. Horrors of Tzeentch will then get to go on their behavior table. For a 5, vicious cappering. Each horror in the group moves towards the nearest enemy hero. Each horror in the group then attacks with either blue fire or the flickering blade, whichever is in range. And so they're in combat, so flickering blades it is. 2 attacks into the Questor, hitting on 2s. So the Questor now saves on 3s. Saves both. The other one of the pink horrors into the Celestant, hitting on 2s. And then Celestant saving on 4s. Fails both and takes 2 wounds. And so, fate dice for the round. Knight Vexilla beginning us off. That's double 6, double 5, so just a 1 stays in the pool. Slop will appear if there are 3 or more adversaries on the board, so Slop will not appear. However, 6 will mean we need to roll for a random encounter. So, rolling 2 dice is 36. Brushing aside drifting skeins of windborne blue silk, the champions found themselves confronted by being both bizarre and repulsive. A great mound of ever-changing flesh it was, all bulging eyes, flailing limbs, and gaping maws that dribbled the fires of change. The revolting thing held out its rubbery hands, grunting and beckoning with palms turned upward, and the message was clear: a toll must be paid. So, with this, each of my characters must give up a treasure card. So we're going to give up the Trickster's Brew here. We don't have a choice. He doesn't have one to give up, and then we're going to choose to give up the Casket of Azir. Vexilla begins, so we will roll our hero dice. Double 1s, 3, but they're all important. 6 for the rerolls, so we'll put the 6 down, and then we will move with the Vexilla, going into combat with the Pink Horror, and we will swing our Warhammer on a 3 to hit and kill the Pink Horror, giving our Vexilla another renown. 2 blue horrors appear, so we'll hit the one in front of us, killing that and replacing it with a Brimstone, giving us another renown for the Vexilla. And then we'll go over to the Questor for his turn. Hero dice, 2, 2, 3, and 4. Just in case, we'll go Guard Stance on him, and then we will swing at the blue horror to kill it. And then our last 2 attacks at the 2 Brimstones in front of us, re-rolling one of them to kill both Brimstones and the blue, wiping out all those horrors there, and giving us just the renown for the blue horror on the Questor. Lord Relictor is up next, so he'll roll his dice. We'll then move him with his 1 to now shoot with Lightning Storm on a 4+, doing D3 to that horror for 3, wiping out the pink. And then Lightning Storm again, hitting and killing the blue And lastly, a third lightning storm. Re-rolling thanks to the Vexillor to hit and to kill the horror completely. Getting 2 points there for our Relictor. The Celestin, then 2 dice can activate last of all. So we'll spend the fate dice and our 3 to heal our 2 wounds up. And then we will move. So we'll go down to here. There are no enemies on the board, so a respite. So this means we'll set the heroes back up like so. We have no skill cards, so nothing can happen. So it goes treasure potentially. Quester on a 4 finds a treasure. The Relictor on a 4 does not. Celestin on a 4 does. And then the Vexillor on a 4 does as well. So he will find Basilisk's Tongue. So our Quester will then get to go first in the next round. So first of all, fate dice. Double 2s. So double 2s will mean set up Pug is close if hero. The Pug sets up closest near the hero with the most treasure cards, which is our Vexillor. But we'll then go hero dice for the Relictor, the Quester, sorry. So the Quester will then use his first one to rotate, and as soon as it hits the statue, and so rotated this one, not that one, my mistake, but as the beam of otherworldly illumination struck the demon statue, the champions hear a terrible shriek of rage. Great cracks begin to spread across the idol's surface, and from them shone an infernal light. Thus did the champions come to realize what had to be done. And so our Quester will move, and then he'll use a 4+ to turn that pedestal as well. As the demonic statue at last shattered apart, blue flames roared up from its sundered remains. Hanging amidst those spectral fires was revealed the gaunt summoner, albeit a shadow of his true self. The demon favoured the champions with an unsettling smirk, then raised one hand. Up from his outstretched palm there drifted a glinting fragment of the amulet of which the gaunt summoner had spoken before. This, proclaimed the ethereal demon, was the first piece of the puzzle, for on it was seared a syllable of his true name. Such words of power, he revealed, and should the champions gather them all, would they be able to bind him to their will, albeit for a few moments. Long enough to demand his boon and earn their freedom. Why should he tell them this? Asked the summoner with a sharp smile. Perhaps it was just his nature or the caprice of tzeentch. Perhaps they had earned such revelation, or perhaps his fear of these interlopers was so little that he would hand them the keys to unlock his power, knowing that they would never live long enough to use them. With that last pronouncement, the spectral creature raised his blade and darted for the attack, the amulet fragment still orbiting lazily above him, with the promise of rewards yet to be reaped. And so, we're going to, with our Quester, use our last token to move and confront the Gaunt Summoner. We will then use a 5 and lock the 4 for a Warblade attack on a 1+. It hits and does 2 wounds to the Summoner. Now, normally, creature tame, each time the Gaunt Summoner suffers any wounds from an attack, the attacking hero must discard their highest dice. We don't have any left, so we're going to go with a second Warblade attack at the Summoner, hitting again for another 2 wounds. So taking his total to 4. The Lord Relictor is next. And so we've got 3 4s and a 6. We're going to go with, first of all, a move for the Relictor. And then we're going to Lightning Storm on a 3+. Hitting, which means we do D3 for 1 point of damage to the Gaunt Summoner. We do discard a 4 and we'll go with a second Lightning Storm. Hitting and doing D3 for 3. So that will put another 3 wounds on the Gaunt Summoner. No more discards though. And we'll try and Lightning Storm him to finish him. We miss. A reroll thanks to our Vexler. We still miss because we do need a 4+. Lord Celestin's turn. Here's hero dice. We'll go. We'll use the 1 to move. And then we will attack with our Sigmarite Runeblade on a 3. Hitting for 1. Which will be 9 and take out the Gaunt Summoner. Which means we will gain D3 Renown thanks to killing him. So D3 for just 1. Putting Celestin there. And with that, that will end the chamber. We have completed the first one, and the Celestin will gain the first fragment of the amulet. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. And also, why not drop us a comment below and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Cinderful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel more and in another way, you can do so either by supporting on Patreon or YouTube members. You can do either of these by following the links in the video's description, and as a special thing for everyone who does, would like to give a shout out first of all to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domer, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Samuel. And a special shout out as well to our YouTube members: Greenrich Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, and Sean Scott. Lastly, a special thank you to, first of all, Lady Watchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel you can see here, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing background work for our Discord server, making sure it all works nice and properly over there. Thank you all for watching once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.